60 Minutes, Rewind.
We've become accustomed to American presidents visiting what were enemy capitals 25 years ago. But imagine, if you will, the crew of a Japanese submarine last week taking the standard sightseeing tour of Pearl Harbor.
Good afternoon. I would like to take this time and opportunity to welcome you all on board once more on behalf of Admiral John J. Howling, Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Pacific Fleet. My name is Gerald Isaacson, and I will be your guide and narrator throughout your tour of Pearl Harbor this afternoon. I'm sorry to say, but for those of you who have cameras, there are only two places in the harbor where the Navy allows photographs. These are the ex-battleship Utah and the Arizona Memorial, and I will point them out in plenty of time for you to get your cameras ready. I'm sure most of you are here on board to see more and hear more of what happened here December 7th, 1941. The first wave of attacking planes were the high-level bombers. They came in over our naval shipyard and over the range of mountains just astern of the boat. They had one mission and one mission alone. That was to destroy or cripple all the aircraft on the island of Oahu. With their air power gone, they launched their second wave of attacking planes, which were the torpedo dive bombers. They came in over our submarine base, which is located off to the left on the other side of our Naval Supply Center. They had especially adapted fins on their torpedoes for the shallow waters of Pearl Harbor, and they scored 19 direct hits against our battleships here in Battleship Row alone. It was a 2,000-pound bomb from one of these planes that put the Arizona where she is today, along with 1,102 of her men. Yes, the Japanese did score a major victory against us here at Pearl Harbor, with a mere loss of 29 planes and 5 two-man submarines either sunk or captured. During your tour of Pearl Harbor this afternoon, there will be short pauses. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and I'll do my best to answer them.
The USS Arizona is probably the most famous ship in any Navy today. On the morning of the attack, there were 1,543 men on the Arizona. The Arizona suffered what is known as a Navy man's nightmare or a dive bomber's dream. A Japanese dive bomber went into his dive and launched a 2,000-pound armor-piercing bomb, which, contrary to popular belief, did not go down the forward stack, but entered her forward decks into her ammunition magazines and fuel bunkers. The people on Ford Island said she literally erupted like a small volcano, lifting some 2 to 3 feet out of the water, turning white hot, splitting in two, and settling the bottom in 8.5 minutes, taking down with her more than 4/5 of her crew, or 1,177 men, of which 1,102 are still entombed on board today.
Upon leaving the Arizona Memorial, two questions often come to mind. First, why was she never raised? And secondly, why did she fly her flag at full mast instead of half mast, being there so many men entombed on board her? In answer to the first question, you must realize we were at war and we had to get our most able ships back into action as soon as possible. The Navy then believed it rather impractical, economic-wise as well as life-wise, to try to raise her. So they left her there, held a mass burial at sea, and notified all next of kin. She flies her flag at full mast, where she is considered sentimentally fully in commission, and no other ship will ever bear the name USS Arizona. Upon your arrival back to the Sink-Pack Fleet Boathouse, this will conclude your tour of Pearl Harbor for this afternoon. I hope you've found it interesting as well as informative in parts, and on behalf of your boat coxswain, Electrician 3rd Class York, and myself, I would like to say thank you and aloha.